for president for either party.
And she called the indictment both unprecedented and un-American.
President Trump is under siege in a way that we have never seen before.
Trump's next court appearance has been set for August 28th. 2 active duty U.S. Navy sailors stationed in Southern California have been arrested on spying charges. Assistant Attorney General of National Security Matthew Olson says they gave sensitive information to China.
The charges demonstrate the PRC's determination to obtain information that is critical to our national defense by any means, so it could be used to their advantage.
The Pittsburgh synagogue shooter was sentenced to death today. Audrey Glockman is a member of the Tree of Life congregation.
Rehabilitated in 4.5 years. He's not likely to be.
She hid in a closet as he gunned down 11 people. Mexican authorities have recovered 2 bodies in the Rio Grande near that controversial buoy barrier.
Texas Department of Public Safety Director Colonel Steve McCraw says that person drowned upstream and floated into the buoys. The U.S. Department of Justice filed suit last month calling for Texas to remove the buoys, saying they're unlawful, present serious risk to public safety, and interfere with the Fed's duties. Chris Fox for CBS News, Austin.
Ukraine says Russia's latest attacks are brutal, but they're dominating.
Day 526 and Ukraine's capital again the mark for Russian drones. Air Defense Forces said they destroyed nearly 15 of them in an overnight attack stretching across 3 hours.
That's CBS's Ramy Inocencio. Lizzo's calling out sensationalized stories and is denying allegations of a scathing lawsuit filed by her former backup dancers. They claim Lizzo created a toxic work environment that included fat shaming and all kinds of harassment. On Wall Street, the Dow lost 66 points today. This is CBS News.
If you need to hire, you need Indeed. Their end-to-end hiring system helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates all in the same place. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
At Grainger, we're for the ones who pay attention to every little detail. The ones who fuss, tinker, and sweat the small stuff. Because you know the tiniest thing can make the biggest difference when it comes to keeping business moving. We get it. We're the same way. Offering access to product experts to help you quickly and easily find what you need. So whatever your industry, you know you're always getting professional-grade products. Call, click Grainger.com, or just stop by. Grainger, for the ones who get it done.
At Simply Safe, your safety is the only thing that matters. Introducing 24/7 LifeGuard protection, only from Simply Safe Home Security. Now, monitoring agents can see and speak to intruders through our new indoor camera to help stop crime in real time and for fast police response. Get 20% off any new system with Fast Protect monitoring at simplysafe.com/radio. Advanced home security, 24/7 professional monitoring for less than $1 a day. There's no safe like Simply Safe.
From the Hertine and Stocker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's news first.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. An Iowa City man who allegedly threatened to beat up a woman at his residence in May and threatened to cause harm to the family of an assistant Johnson County attorney last month has been arrested again after violating no-contact orders and threatening KCJJ, among others. 32-year-old Samuel McElmeal originally contacted the radio station on July 29th, demanding that articles written about the incidents be removed from our website. He also stated that a lawsuit would be filed. On Tuesday night, McElmeal sent 3 emails that Iowa City Police described as harassing, annoying, alarming, and threatening in nature. The email's recipients included KCJJ, individuals from law firms, government organizations, and the Johnson County Attorney's Office. In the emails, McElmeal again demanded that the stories be taken down, or he would, quote, end you and everything associated with you people for your lies. He also said it was time for the broadcast towers to be taken down, telling KCJJ to, quote, take it all down, liquidize your commie biz, and I won't torture you all because of your abuse of power based on lies. One email to KCJJ also threatened that McElmeal would cut off an Iowa City police officer's genitals and feed them to him. A warrant for McElmeal's arrest was issued on Wednesday, and he was booked into the Johnson County Jail just after 6 p.m. He's been charged with 6 violations of no-contact orders. Additional charges are pending. A Coralville woman has been arrested after allegedly running up charges on credit cards belonging to 2 adult home care clients in her care. According to police, staff at Caring Hands and More on Sandusky Drive in Iowa City reported suspected theft from 2 adult clients on June 30th. Management provided investigators with financial records, pointing out multiple irregularities and unusual purchases. Surveillance video provided by Quickstar on Keokuk Street reportedly shows 48-year-old Mandy Tran of 12th Avenue illegally using credit and or debit cards from the 2 dependent adults in her care. Tran allegedly used the cards to purchase food, alcohol, nicotine, and gasoline for her personal use. The irregularities reportedly occurred between August 22, 2022 and May 16th of this year. The investigation concluded both dependent adults had nearly identical charges of over $1,200 appropriated by Tran 26 times each. Tran was interviewed at her place of work, and she allegedly provided a full confession. She reportedly told investigators that she stopped the thefts because she started to feel bad about her actions. Tran's cell phone was seized via search warrant, and photos of the victim's credit and debit cards were found. Messages to her husband about using the cards were also allegedly discovered. Both adult victims are currently unable to care for themselves, and at times were left alone and unsupervised when Tran committed the alleged thefts. She's charged with dependent adult abuse, unauthorized use of credit cards, third-degree theft, and third-degree theft against an older individual. If convicted on all counts, she could be sentenced to up to 17 years in prison. The city of Iowa City is considering charging a fee in its parking ramps for electric vehicle charging stations. At last Tuesday's meeting, the Iowa City City Council unanimously approved first consideration of an ordinance adding the fee that would apply to charging in the city's 6 downtown parking ramps. The ordinance must be approved 2 more times before it goes into effect. The proposed fee of 16 cents per kilowatt hour breaks down to roughly $4 for a typical 4-hour charging session. The fee would allow the city to break even on operating the charging stations. Otherwise, the city would be on the hook for about $10,500 to operate the stations. The U.S. Department of Energy says the state of Iowa currently has 320 public charging locations with 698 charging ports, an increase of over 40 from this time last year. In sports, University of Iowa junior defensive back Cooper DeJean has been named to the 2023 Paul Hornung Award watch list. The award, which is in its 14th year, recognizes and rewards versatile, high-level performers in major college football. DeJean and the Hawkeyes open their season September 2nd against Utah State. The 11 o'clock game is sold out, but can be seen on FS1. We'll talk more Hawkeye sports Friday morning at 9 on the HawkFanatic.com segment, right here on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and a low in the upper 60s. For tomorrow, mostly sunny, high around 90. Then some storms possible tomorrow night and for the weekend with cooler temps. Highs in the low 80s for Saturday, upper 70 Sunday. Rain chances diminish early.
Oh, okay.
Silence.
It just cut off. I don't even know what he was about to say.
What's going to happen?
It's a cliffhanger. Well, currently it's 78 degrees, and tonight's low around 70. Tomorrow, high of 91. A slight chance of afternoon showers. Tomorrow's low at night in the upper 60s. Chance of overnight showers. I believe that is what he was about to say.
Nice and cool.
Yes.
For being August in Iowa.
So my AC crapped out, and it took a few... Honestly, it took, like, 4 or 5 days to get it fixed.
Was it for the whole building? Or no, you're in a house.
Well, I am in a house, yeah. So I guess yes. The answer is yes. But I wasn't there for when it was like 100 degrees, and that's why it crapped out. Like, it was too hot. I couldn't.
Mine did the same thing.
Yeah, it couldn't deal with it. No, and I know a lot of people whose AC just crapped out because it's too hot out.
Yeah.
And we're going to have this problem as climate change becomes more of a thing. Like, all of our AC systems, if they're not made to be more robust, they're going to keep failing.
Right. Yeah, I've got I've been there for 2 years now, and every summer I'm like, okay, this is the year I should probably. I've already started saving for a bigger, better, because it's old.
Right.
But like the same thing happened. I don't know, I keep saying flux capacitor broke, but something with capacitor in it.
Is your mobile home a DeLorean?
It could be.
You could. You should go back to.
It's more like TARDIS because it does feel bigger on the inside. But,
yeah.
Anytime I don't know what something is, I always call it, if it's mechanical. Oh, the flux capacitor.
The flux capacitor. It might as well be. Yeah, I don't know anything about mechanic stuff anyway.
I was just thankful it wasn't a new, because I have to pay for it.
That's why I'm hesitant to buy a place, because I'm like, everything that goes wrong, I have to fix.
Yeah.
And it's so easy just to be like, hey, landlord,
I know,
this doesn't work anymore.
That's why I was resistant to even consider it. But I figured with a mobile home, things aren't as expensive as like a house.
I feel like that's true, but what if it's not?
Well, I mean, in my experience now, I'm thinking, okay, I've already replaced the water heater. So now I've got 6 years warranty on that. The next thing would be the air conditioning and the furnace. Those are the three major, not including appliances, that could go bad and cost me quite a bit of money.
What do you think is more important? Heat in the winter or AC in the summer?
Heat in the winter, because your pipes will freeze. Yeah.
No, that's 100%.
Yeah.
Heat in the winter is way more important.
I mean, I briefly considered.
They feel equally as important, but it's not.
And I mean, I'm used to having central air now. We had wall and window air conditioning.
Yeah, I've had those too.
10 years or so. So I like having central air.
Me too.
But I was already sort of thinking, okay, can I get some air conditioners to put in the windows, in our bedrooms, and then we'll just kind of suffer through for the next year or two and deal with replacing the air conditioner later. But luckily it was only $140 worth of repair.
That's not too bad.
Not at all.
That's not too bad. Well, luckily I did miss the bulk of it last weekend because I was up in Wisconsin with my parents and our family friends. They have a cabin up there, and it's in Rhinelander.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know where that is?
No.
Okay, well,
even if I did know where it was, I wouldn't be able to tell you how to get there.
Well, it's northern Wisconsin, and so it was 75 and sunny,
nice.
And sometimes it would be a little bit cloudy even, and you would have to put on a sweatshirt or a cardigan. It was really nice. And then the whole time Amy couldn't go because she was still dealing with COVID. And so she was just texting us. She's like, it's 100 degrees and the AC stopped working. And I'm just like, ah! Meanwhile, it's we're huddled around a campfire. It's 55 degrees at night. It was awesome.
And you're like, sorry. Not sorry.
Oh, sorry. Wish I was there.
Yeah, that sucks.
But it was fun. On that trip, I figured out that I like brandy old fashions.
Don't even know what's in an old fashioned.
It's bourbon and bitters, I think. Yeah.
I have a bottle of old fashioned mix.
But I don't like bourbon, so I tried it with brandy and it made it a lot sweeter, so I liked it naturally. Apparently it's a thing in Wisconsin.
I don't know.
But yeah.
It sounds like an old man's drink.
A brandy old fashioned. It does, except it's not. It tastes like a fruity little cocktail.
Fun.
So I guess it's a little more classy than a Hurricane or something.
Sex on the Beach. Do they still make those?
They do.
Okay.
I haven't had a Sex on the Beach. What is in that?
I have no idea, but we drank the heck out of them when they were on sale. And the Field House would have dollar drinks or whatever.
One of my go-to drinks when I was a younger person was Long Island iced tea.
Oh God, I love those.
Yeah, Blue Moose, R.I.P. They had the best Long Island iced teas, and when they closed, my sister and I tried it at like every single other bar in Iowa City, and like nothing compares.
I don't know that I've ever been able to finish one.
Oh, I have.
Because
I can.
by the time I order it, I was pretty drunk.
Right.
And then like
Pretty
it's
sloshed.
got like 4 shots of alcohol in it, if I remember correctly.
Does it? I don't know.
It's a lot of booze.
I just drank it and it was good.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Those were yummy. They weren't iced tea though. I don't think there was any iced tea in it.
No, it's just it's just called iced tea because of the color. It looks like iced tea. I'm pretty
I
sure
remember
that's
liking
why
them
it's
very
called
much.
it.
Now I just drink regular iced tea.
Which is refreshing.
Yes.
Which is so good. Although I have sweetened iced tea, but I don't like it as sweet as like they make it down south, but I don't like it unsweetened either. It has to be a little bit sweet.
I don't like sweet tea at all.
Oh,
it's too
Mom.
sweet.
You and Mom.
But
Mom
I like
hates
the
sweet tea.
raspberry, like adding raspberry flavor to it, or like a syrup.
Yeah, so on the way home from Rhinelander, she got iced tea from a gas station, and I'm like, oh, let me try, and then I'm like, ugh, there's no sugar in here.
It just tastes like diabetes to me whenever I have it.
Well, really sweet tea? Yeah. No, I get that.
I always just get a kick out of it as you're traveling down south. You can tell when you've crossed that, like, into the southern border.
It's the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah. When you start ordering iced tea, and they go, "You want regular?" And I'm like, "Yeah, sure." And they bring you sweet tea because that's regular tea back down there. You have to ask for non-sweet tea instead of just iced tea,
as it should.
Because iced tea is just sweet tea down there.
Yep. Yeah, I have relatives that live in Texas, and so whenever we visit, they always have like a pitcher of sweet tea in the fridge, just because like that's what they have.
And it's not
like a cultural.
You
thing.
don't just add sugar to iced tea. There's like a whole steeping process with the sugar and the. I don't know how they do it, but I think a whole thing. Apparently.
I think what they do is they brew it hot and they put the sugar in there, and they have to stir it and make sure the sugar is all like dissolved, and then they put it in the fridge with ice or something.
I don't know,
or maybe not. Maybe it's just the brewed tea, and you sit it in the fridge, and then you pour over ice. I think that's what it is.
I don't like it, so I'm not gonna bother to learn how to make it.
Well, all right then.
I'm gonna check the chat room.
I think it's actually popping off tonight.
We've got 5 people.
Yeah, it's kind of going ham.
We've got Elvis.
We got Lindsay. We got Southern Justin. But there's a few people, like a few weeks ago, who were like, Southern Justin should listen to the show. So I think it might be a fake Southern Justin, but I'm not sure. He claims he's real.
The one from Burlington, Iowa. Maybe there's more than one.
No, there's only one. There's only one Southern Justin from Burlington.
I know of him from Morning Show, right?
Yes.
Isn't he the one that did the...
Of Morning Show fame, yes.
The lunch menus, or is
He's
that
still,
another?
No, he still does. That is the lunch menus person.
I would say we need a gimmick like that, but we really don't.
No.
Do we?
We don't.
No.
I think we have enough personality.
Did you... Okay. I sent a TikTok that was talking about people communicating that have autism.
Mm-hmm.
And it was literally, they described our show.
Yeah. No, honestly, I think I am on the spectrum. Like the last few years have been, I've been on TikTok,
right?
And people are just like, I'm autistic and these are my symptoms, whatever. And I'm like, wait, that's an autism thing? I thought that was just a quirky thing that I did. And so, no, I think I am on the spectrum.
So that was my journey with ADHD, which I'm still not convinced. But I was telling my daughter, I'm like, yeah, I sent Molly this TikTok about autism. She's like, oh yeah, you're on the spectrum. I'm like, shut up.
Do you know what? I'm not sure if anyone listening is going to agree with this, but I have a friend who has both ADHD and autism, and she thinks they are the same thing. Like two sides of the same coin. she thinks that there is enough like overlap for them to be pretty much the same thing, but it manifests differently.
Interesting. I mean, I've seen it, well, through TikTok and stuff. I've seen enough people that have both.
I relate to all of them.
Right. I'm willing to admit I might have ADHD, but
I think you do. But I think perhaps what could have been mistaken for my nonverbal learning disability when I was diagnosed when I was 8 is autism, and it just manifested in the nonverbal learning disability, you know?
And now you're a DJ that talks for a living.
Yeah.
About random things.
About random things, whatever comes to my mind.
Yeah, but you you remember everything? You're like a Rain Man.
I do have a famous, like, really good memory. Like, my friends are sometimes like, how do you remember when I said that? And I'm like, I remember everything anyone says to me ever.
Yeah, I can't remember dates or
don't ever cross me, because I will remember everything you say to me.
Yeah, and I'm always like, well, I think that happened 2 years ago, or maybe 10 years ago. I don't know. Time is not even relative.
Oh, see, I'm just like, yeah.
You know exactly to the minute.
Yeah, you said that 8 years ago on July 14th, actually. Remember that? And they're like, I never said that. I'm like, yes, you did. Yes, you did.
Okay, yeah, you must be.
I think I came to this realization, I'm good with words, because I'm also really, really, really good at memorizing song lyrics, and when I can only if I've listened to the song once, I'll know like a lot of the lyrics. Within 3 times, I know all of them.
I'm laughing because I will hear the same song over and
There's
over
a fly in here.
and over again on TikTok, and it'll get stuck in my head, but I still don't know the words. So even in my head, after I've listened to it 500 times, I still don't know the words. Like I couldn't sing it out loud. In my head, it's perfect.
All right, what is the chat room saying? What's DX? Is that diagnosis?
Diagnosis, I think.
Yeah.
I was going to ask the same thing.
Yes. Elvis says Pee Wee Herman's favorite drink was an Arnold Palmer.
I like those too. That's
Yeah,
lemonade and iced tea, right?
It's lemonade and iced tea. It's kind of like, actually, I like those a lot too, because you get like the sweetness from the lemonade. Yeah.
Or it cuts the sweetness of the lemonade.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, if you don't want pure sugar. Although,
do you remember Lucky's Market?
Yes,
in
but
the
I
Iowa City
didn't shop there
Marketplace.
very often. But
Well, I didn't either, just because like it wasn't like a convenient location. But when I did shop there, they were really good. They had really good fresh produce. Like usually I don't eat pineapple. I usually don't eat pineapple, but I really liked the pineapple they had there because it was really fresh and like less veiny than most pineapple are. Anyway, but they also had the best lemonade I've ever tasted in my life. It was like equal amounts tart and sweet.
like
it
at
was
the little bar area, or
yeah, it
okay.
was like the perfect like combination. And now they're gone too. First
I
Blue
like the
Moose,
lemonades from
and now Lucky's.
Blue Moose. Wait, Blue Moose is where
El Rey's.
Isn't that where the Q used to be?
I don't know what the Q is.
Is it downtown Iowa City that we're talking about?
Yes.
On Iowa Avenue?
Yes.
It used to be. Yeah, that's the Q. And
Yes,
I think it was the Miss Q, and then it was the Q, and then it became the Blue Moose.
Yeah, it was Blue Moose. I know, at least when I was in high school.
It's been Blue Moose for a while. Yeah.
The late 2000s. But now, no, they closed in, I think, 2020. I don't think they
I
survived
didn't know that
the
they
pandemic.
were gone completely.
Now it's El Rey's, and they have like live country music, or mostly country music.
They used to have like the first part was the bar, and then the back room where like the concerts would go on or whatever. That used to be all filled with pool tables.
Oh, like TCB. TCB has the pool tables now.
Oh. The country's best yogurt? No.
TCB.
What's TCB?
Taking Care of Business.
Is that downtown?
Yes. It's on the Penn Mall.
You know, I actually now worked a 10-minute walk from downtown. So I need to like walk around downtown and
just
figure out where
things
everything
are.
is.
I mean, I haven't been downtown in a while either, just because like a lot of my friends are like kind of outgrowing going out drinking.
They have like other things down there. Apparently, they have a library.
They do have a library down there, but
there's a Starbucks.
Yes, there is. I never go to that Starbucks though.
I just
I love
finally
the drive-through Starbucks.
ventured out from the building on my lunch last week or the week before, and I went to the library. Got to walk through downtown to see everybody.
Oh, nice. They have a new bar down there that I really like called the Roxy, and it's like an 80s bar, but they play 80s, 90s, and like early 2000s music. So like
it'd be like going back to
it's catered to millennials, it's catered to me. And so I really like that bar. Anyway, Elvis asks you, did you ever go to Ming Garden in Coralville? I know that's a Chinese restaurant that used to be in Coralville, isn't there anymore.
I don't know where it was located.
I think it was on the Strip.
Is it the one that's kind of hidden behind it? You never know if it's open or not.
No.
Next to Walgreens.
No. That's still there. I don't think that was where Ming Garden was. I used to do tours at the old Coralville Town Hall, and I remember seeing like the graphic of where Ming Garden was, but I don't exactly
still go to
remember.
Peking Buffet, even though every time I go there, I eat way too much, and I don't feel good afterwards.
That's what a buffet is for, Cindy.
It's funny because my youngest daughter and I always, like, when we have a plan to go out and, like, try on swimsuits or try on dresses, like when she was in high school we'd always be like, oh, let's go get some supper then, too, while we're out.
Yeah.
And, of course, we always end up at Peking, and we both are kind of like, why do we do this before we try stuff on? Like, we go to a buffet of sushi that we're both going to eat way too much of.
And, like, trying on clothes is already making you feel really bad about yourself anyway. Like, it sucks. I hate
We've done
doing
that multiple times. And you know what? We're going to do it again, probably.
I think there's got to be a science to trying stuff on in the dressing room is, like, demoralizing and, like, you're all sweaty.
Yeah.
And so then, like, nothing fits right.
And the mirrors are never quite.
No. And the lighting is always really harsh. Yeah, you're like, ugh. You just feel icky.
That's why I try not to try stuff on. Which is why.
I have to. I can't buy anything. Unless it's like a shapeless t-shirt. I have to try stuff on.
So I go to Goodwill anyway for a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah,
I
don't try stuff on at Goodwill.
The only thing I try
$3 anyway.
I try to make sure I have enough arm room basically and stuff. But other than that, and make sure it's long enough because I am long waisted.
I'm short waisted,
and I have to make sure that the legs are long enough. But other than that, and then if it doesn't fit, I just put it back into the recycle.
Right. Well, I feel like it's different for Goodwill and other places like that because like clothes are already like $5 anyway, and so you don't feel as bad as just like buying it and trying it on.
Get the half off tags. That's what I used to do.
Right.
Now I get a discount.
But I feel like if you're at the mall and you're paying like $50 for jeans, you have to try it.
That's why I don't do that very often because honestly, the last time I went looking for something, had a job interview, so I wanted a nice pair of slacks.
Right.
I could not.
I can't buy pants at Goodwill or thrift stores just because I'm short. I have to buy pants that are like for short people, and there are never pants for short people.
And see, that's all I find. That's all I find.
I only find regular cut. I only find like pants for people who are like 5'5" to 5'7".
And I can only find petite stuff.
What
drives me nuts? We have to go shopping together.
We do.
You can find out.
Cancel our energy out
of a certain size where I had to, I have to go to the women's section.
Well, so
and what ticked me off about the slacks is that I wanted belt loops so that I could wear a belt because the waist never quite. If it's long enough, usually it's just a whole thing, and it gives me a little bit more flexibility with wearing it. And I may end up losing weight. I can keep them longer.
Or
I could not find all they had for voluptuous women, we'll say, are like the pull-on grandma slacks. You know what I mean? Like
Oh,
with the elastic waist.
I love those.
And I'm like, yeah, but like,
I want more.
we're
of
talking
those.
polyester type, not very,
not like linen or cotton.
No,
or
and I'm
nice.
like, this sucks. And
I love
ended
my
up
grandma pants. I have.
Oh
a
God,
few.
I hated them. And I was getting no pockets. I mean, it was just. Finally, of course, I went all the way down into the depths of the mall because I started at one side, and ended up at Torrid or wherever that place is. And I found,
Torrid, the plus size store. Yeah, no, but
and then I promptly grew out of them. So
I call those pants Mama pants because my grandmother, who we called Mama, was the queen of them. She always wore like breathable cotton or linen, like pull-on pants.
I'm talking about slacks. You know, like they're like they weren't polyester blend, but they looked like it. I thought. I don't know. It just reminded me of like the stuff that we sold at Kmart when I worked there.
I miss Kmart.
I know.
I miss Kmart. I got a really cute pair of boots at Kmart, like the liquidation sale.
Mm-hmm.
They looked like pirate boots, and I wore them, I think, to the haunted house up in Atkins like a few Octobers ago, and they just got trashed with mud, and I don't remember what happened to them. They were so cute.
I was thinking about that the other day, that no one will be able to experience the blue light specials anymore because Kmart's gone.
I know.
I mean, they didn't really do them the last probably 10 years that it was in business, but
I don't ever remember having a.
When I worked there, I got to do some of the blue light specials over the intercom, so that was fun.
I didn't know you worked at Kmart.
Yep.
The one here on the east side?
Yep.
South side?
Or not, I don't know, whatever side.
So you probably checked me out when I was a kid then. Because like
I never was in the checkout. I was back in the apparel section, as they called it.
Oh,
yeah.
okay, yeah. Because I was going to say, my neighborhood friends and I, like, we lived on Balsam Court, which is like over past the Keokuk apartments, like up that hill. And so we always like rode our bikes down to Kmart like after school to like get snacks or like a toy or something, when I still bought toys and stuff like that. And then as I got older, I did go into the apparel section and get clothes, but I don't think I ever saw you there.
I mean, I worked there for like...
Oh yeah, what years were you working?
I want to say my senior year in high school.
Oh, so this is way before my time.
But 15 years before you were a kid going down there, I was doing the same thing because I lived up on Hollywood. So we would walk down there and ride our bikes down there and go.
That's
get
cute.
our pictures, taken in the little photo booth. I don't know if they had the photo booth when you were there.
I don't think they did. Walmart Walmart had the
okay,
the
so
photo studio.
Do you remember when they had the restaurant kind of thing in the middle?
No.
So they used to have it was literally when you walked in, it was straight to the back, and there was a little cafe type thing that they had it all sectioned out, and it was a little restaurant within Kmart.
That's awesome. No, I don't remember that at all.
They made the best egg sandwiches.
By the time I remember what was happening, it was straight back was the bikes and the electronics.
And for a short period of time when they remodeled everything, because I worked there again when they were doing the remodel, a couple years after the first time, they had a pizza place in the back, side corner, which was weird.
No, I don't think they ever had food, in-house food.
They used to have a little tiny little section that had behind the.
I wonder when they stopped doing that.
I don't know, but they had a place too that you could get slushies and popcorn.
Oh
and,
yeah,
pre-made sandwiches. And stuff too.
The Target cafe that used to be there before Starbucks. I remember that.
Back in the good old days, and they had a photo booth there. Good times.
Yeah, I miss Kmart.
We could just spend a whole show talking about all the things that are gone that I used to go
honestly,
to.
Honestly, we've filled up a half an hour with it. I don't like egg salad. Egg salad.
I said egg sandwich though. It was it was Because when we
I get
worked
egg
there on
sandwiches.
Sundays, Sunday morning, our whole department would sit in that little restaurant area, and they'd have like these like English, like an egg McMuffin basically, but it was so good. And I'd always get that right before the big meeting.
I always get egg sandwiches too for breakfast, either from like McDonald's or Bruegger's. I had one this morning from Bruegger's. It was really good.
The egg Frisco, though, is the best at Hardee's.
Really?
Yeah.
Noted. I
Well,
usually
and
get
it comes with the hash rounds, too, which are better than... Do you remember when Hardee's didn't do hash rounds for a while?
I actually don't. I don't
That was the
frequent
worst
Hardee's.
time ever. It was the worst year of my life.
I only do, like, Hardee's for dinner. I'll do McDonald's for, like, breakfast, but I think that's the only fast food place I do breakfast.
Well, and Hardee's is kind of out of the way now, so it's like if you live on the...
Well, not for me.
I guess you live out in Coralville, but if you
Not
live on
for
the
me.
southeast side, there's no Hardee's over here anymore.
Right.
I mean, I still make the trek out to Coralville for it, though.
And now it's easier because you live...
I live in town,
town.
and I can kind of hit Hardee's pretty easily from Mormon Track, so...
Yeah. Yeah, you can. You just have to really want Hardee's.
I know, and I've lived here long enough where I'm like, oh, that's too far away. Like, I used to drive a half hour to get it. I lived in West Branch.
And
but
now you're taking
now I'm a
things
city
for
girl
granted.
now.
You're a city
It's
slicker.
like, I'm sorry, that's more than 3 blocks away.
No, that's me. I'm like... So I live pretty close to Pat and Fran's out in Coralville, and it's really good, but it's a few blocks away, and I'm like, do I
really
walk?
Good Rubens.
Do I
I've been there a
walk
couple
or
times.
do I drive? Driving there would be ridiculous. I never drive there, but also I'm like,
I would
don't
still
wanna
do
walk.
delivery.
I would not. I would feel so ridiculous doing that. I mean, Amy and I did that when we had COVID and we couldn't like leave.
Yeah.
But not for that restaurant, but for Dunkin'. We got Dunkin' delivered when we had COVID. Even though Dunkin' is also really, really close to my house.
Yeah. I love delivery.
You know, I was just talking to my friend today. I'm like, I had to put like a moratorium on delivery for myself just because it's so expensive,
Right.
and like the food can get like soggy and like cold before it gets
we
to
talked about
you.
that last time. You got to kind of carefully select what you order.
Oh, we talk about this constantly.
Every time,
Another thing about that TikTok was like rehashing things over and over and over again, which is what Amy and I have the same conversations all the time.
What's wrong with that?
Nothing. It's just another symptom of, if not autism, neurodivergence. I'm saying the TikTok kind of clocked us.
I don't. Yeah, but then I'm also afraid of being that person that everyone makes fun of because, oh yeah, she
I know.
diagnosed herself on TikTok.
No, exactly.
Like
So-
I jokingly say I'm, self-diagnosed or TikTok diagnosed.
You know what? That's...
And yet nobody disagrees with me so far. Everyone's like, oh yeah, you totally.
I feel like that's a valid criticism just because it's like, oh, you spend all your time on TikTok and like the algorithm feeds you like people talking about autism because you keep like liking it or whatever, and so you think you have autism. But like if the shoe fits,
I mean,
block it.
have some people pop up on my feed though that are talking about other creators that say, oh, this is ADHD, and then they list off all these symptoms that are not ADHD. They're just like normal stuff.
I mean, I've been diagnosed since I was 8,
Right.
so I know what I have, which is ADHD, and I know the symptoms of that, and so I can probably call BS on those creators.
And I don't
who
know enough to
actually
know,
have
but
it.
there's like several creators apparently that are coming under fire because they think they had ADHD and then they got diagnosed and they didn't have it.
Diagnosed with what?
Yeah, they get and then they're autistic or whatever, and then they like make their whole personality about. Maybe that's the problem. If you make your whole personality like.
It's less about making it your entire personality, but also, like, for so many years, like, I knew I had ADHD, and I knew other people had ADHD, but we didn't talk about it in such a way that people do on TikTok or other places on the internet now, and it's really, really refreshing.
It is, yeah.
Just to like revel in like the community of it. Be like, oh, this is how my ADHD manifests, and they're like, oh yeah, me too. I can never focus on blah blah blah, blah. Or sometimes I hyper focus for like 6 hours, and then I can't do it for another 2-3 weeks or something, and it's just really nice.
I came across one, this woman was talking about they were talking about like the stages of hyperfixation, and she was relating her experience with her husband who gets hyperfixated. She's like, here are his stages. And it's the research, the buying of supplies. And then she said the third stage is the organization of the hyperfixation. She's like, you'd think that would be the shortest of the phases.
No.
But it's the longest and most involved.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
I get it.
Okay, like, shut up. I don't even think she said he had anything. It's just that, hyperfixation in general. And I'm like, shut up. Speaking of which, I'm going to get my daughter's house. She moved into a house with her boyfriend. And she asked if I had a sewing machine. I'm like, of course I have a sewing machine. It's never been opened. Because I had one for a long time, and once I stopped using it, I gave it to a friend. And I thought, I'm going to sew again, and so I asked for one for my birthday, and I got one like 2 years ago, and I never opened it. So I'm going to give my daughter that sewing machine, and I said, I have next week off. So I'm like, I'm going to come, and I'm going to set up, like if you can find a corner in the house, like up in the attic or something, we can set up a little sewing area with all of the junk that I've collected.
Yes, please let me.
I probably have like
this.
80% of all of the necessities and a lot of the non-necessities of. I have a whole like 30-gallon, however big those totes are, full of just like patterns of various things.
My aunt started to teach me how to sew when I was like 13, and I was not terrible at it. I made a lot of things for Amy. Like, she was my receptacle for like everything. I made her 3 pillows, an A pillow, an M pillow, and a Y pillow. And she still has that like on her, I think, windowsill.
Cute.
And it is cute. But like, I follow this YouTuber, Makara Tours. Have you heard of her? So she sews, and she like makes her own clothes, and she does all these videos about like making your own clothes, and I love watching them. And like, I want to sew again, but it doesn't make me like need to pick it back up again. But I do wish I wanted to.
I think I have the perfect opportunity, because I told her, I'm like, hey, we'll set it up at your house. Let's just set up the sewing area at your house, and then when I want to sew, I'll just come to your house and we can visit.
Do you think you're going to actually do it, though?
I don't know. I could.
You could.
It could go either way. I could.
What does Allie want to sew?
She said that she just wants to make pillows for her couch. But if she's anything like me, she'll like it and then make curtains and then do other things, and then, although she doesn't really do that, so I don't know. I'm excited, because I even texted her. I'm like, hey, I'm excited about this, so there's a good chance of it actually happening.
At least for a little bit, yeah.
And I'll be able to get some of the stuff out of my spare room, which will hopefully make it a little bit easier to sort of figure out what I'm going to do in that room once I get
your new, whatever the newest hobby is.
I will learn how to knit.
My aunt was also teaching me that too when I was in college, and I put it down one day and never picked it back up.
I mean, my problem when I've tried to learn it in the past, even crocheting, like if I set it down and pick it up the next day, my stitches are different. Like, I can't regulate, which might be an ADHD thing, I don't know. But like, I can't regulate my stitch, if that makes sense.
Right. It's been a good 10 years since I picked up the needles, so to speak. So, actually I don't know if I could resume it if I tried.
I have knitting looms if you ever want to try that out. They're a lot easier. and you always have the same spacing. You know what I mean? Like it's all.
Mm-hmm.
What I really want is one of those knitting machines. I follow some people on TikTok that has those.
I don't think I've seen that.
Or you've got the machine that like is the thing that like there's a circle and it just kind of you do a crank, or you can hook up your drill to it. Is what some people do. That looks like fun, but I don't know if that would really. I need to get a space first. I need to get some creativity because I think my happiness level would be improved if I had some creative outlet.
Mm-hmm.
I tried getting books from the library. I have not read either one of them. I thought if I had an actual book.
What books?
I don't even remember what I'd have to look up to see what I have checked out.
Because, one of my goals for this year, and I've done it in spades, was to read more, and I've fallen back in love with reading. And
I know that inspired me a little bit.
The way I do that is I record like little reviews on my TikTok, and you've seen plenty of them. And so that's why I do it. Like it's a goal. It's like I finish this book, I get to make a TikTok about it. I start this book, I can finish it so I can make a TikTok about it. Like
That's how I cleaned my kitchen one time. I just set up the camera.
Yeah.
I'm like, well, I got to finish it. I have to finish the whole thing or it's going to look stupid if I don't. They call that body doubling.
Body doubling.
So like, okay, this is an ADHD hack, apparently. When you're trying to get something done, sometimes it's nice to have somebody in the room with you just talking to you so that you can just kind of keep doing what you're doing.
Right.
And you can do it sort of like electronically, like by having like a live feed up of somebody else, like a Zoom meeting or something. Or you could just videotape yourself not videotape, but you know what I mean. Record yourself.
I was doing that. My landlord was over trying to fix my air conditioning, and then I'm like, what am I going to do when he's here? Like, I can't watch TV or whatever, and I'm like, I just started picking up.
Right.
I just started cleaning because I'm like, what else am I going to do when he's here, But also it's like, oh, someone's in my house. I have a filthy house.
Well, yeah, that's part of it too, probably. But I mean, my friend Wendy always says, like, if you could just come to my house and just sit with me while I'm folding my clothes, I'll get my clothes folded.
My friend Rachel said something about that on Facebook. She was like, hey, I just had a friend over and, like, I just cleaned my room and it was really productive. So I can do that for you. And I made a mental note. I'm like, I should take her up on that. And I haven't done it yet.
I've offered to Zoom meet people. Yeah.
My room is so terrible
But if you, even like with technology, you can just set somebody up on a Zoom meeting or whatever, or FaceTime and be okay, you both do something. I mean, you see people on live doing it.
No, I've done that before. Yeah, I'll be on the phone with a friend catching up, and I'm just like, well, I pace when I'm on the phone anyway. I have to like move around. So I'm like, I might as well clean. But yeah, I'm glad I have a word for that now. Body doubling.
I think it's called body doubling. Now you have to double check it because
I get it.
Sometimes I don't hear things right. That could mean something dirty. I don't know.
This whole time it's something filthy. Yeah.
Either way, it's a good word for it.
Yeah, body doubling ADHD. Yeah.
I don't know if it really works for me, but the whole like doing it like sort of.
It works when you work alongside another person, each doing your own tasks, but using each other's company as motivation to stay focused. And that's what Amy and I do too. When we clean, like it's much more productive if we're both doing it at the same time.
I mean, I think I do a version of it when I put a podcast on.
Yeah.
So like I've noticed too, like when I was into walking, like if I had a podcast on, I would walk until the end of that show, whether I wanted to or not. But I wanted to listen to it, even though I could listen to it at home just fine, sitting down, not walking. But
yeah, I can't do that either. I can't listen to a podcast just at home I have to be doing something, or driving.
Yeah. I can't just sit down and listen to a podcast and not, Well, I can't even watch TV and not do something else at the same time. Are you watching The Righteous Gemstones at all?
No. What's that?
It's on Max. Do you get that?
Yeah, I have Max.
I don't know if you'll like it or not, but I really, really enjoyed the series.
Well, I mean, you're the one that recommended Paper Girls to me, and I loved that. Did you know that they canceled it?
I know. I'm still mad about
I'm
that.
so mad. I want to, like, it was originally a comic book. Like, I want to read the comic book now.
Maybe we should get together and write fan fiction season 2.
Even though there already is a season 2, but in written
season 3 or
form.
whatever. But it would be fan fiction. Isn't that how they got Twilight? Was fan fiction?
No. 50 Shades of Grey is Twilight fan fiction.
Seriously?
Yes. So, do you know what? Actually, there's a cool, like, you can draw a line between 9/11 and the Ellen show being canceled. And it's because 9/11 happens, Gerard Way of My Chemical Romance is in New York when it happens, and it really, really messes with him, obviously, because, yeah, and so he makes this band, My Chemical Romance, and it's very emo, it's very dark, and so then they get popular. Stephanie Meyer is a huge fan of My Chemical Romance, and she is very inspired to write this, like, gothic, emo vampire romance called Twilight, and that booms in popularity. E.L. James makes fan fiction about Twilight, except makes it way more adult, changes the name. It becomes 50 Shades of Grey, which launches the career of Dakota Johnson, who plays Anastasia in the movies. Dakota Johnson gets famous, goes on the Ellen DeGeneres show, and when Ellen is like, oh, you didn't invite me to my birthday party, she's like, actually, that's not true, Ellen. And it cascades into everyone online, like, being like, actually, Ellen's a really bad person. And so then the Ellen DeGeneres show gets canceled. There you go, 9/11 to Ellen DeGeneres in a perfect line. But yeah, 50 Shades of Grey is just Edward and Bella, but
I think I knew that, but I got it flipped.
Yeah, you did.
I got it backwards. I did not.
But yeah,
I read all the books. I read all of those books.
I didn't read or watch 50 Shades of Grey. And I've heard they were bad.
It's bad. It's so bad.
I did read all of the Twilights, though, and watched all of the movies.
That was bad, too.
But
in a different way.
But, like...
Excuse me.
But
camp. Edward is 100-some years old.
It's camp.
And he's in love with... She's 16, right?
17? But yeah.
Barely 17. He's over 100.
It is weird. I will say that. However, it is my first, like, fandom. When I was a teenager, I was so
I know.
into
I get
Twilight.
why people like it.
And it's nostalgia for me. All I need to do is watch Twilight. That blue tint takes me all the way back to 2008. I'm 15. I have no cares in the entire world. It's escapism, really.
Yeah. As a mother of daughters, I would never let a 100-year-old vampire near my 16-year-old.
Absolutely not.
She'd have to be at least 18.
Her parents don't know either. No, but when I was so one of the plot points is that Edward sneaks into Bella's room when she is sleeping and watches her. When I was 15, I was like, oh my god, that's so romantic.
I mean, I was in my late 30s, and I was like, ah. And then I'm like, wait.
No, but like now I'm just like, that's so creepy.
There's just a lot of creepy parts of it, I think.
No, it is. And so, I can't watch Twilight with someone who like hasn't seen it before because they're just like, this is boring, nothing's happening. But if I watch Twilight with like friends who also loved it in like 2008, it's so fun. Because we're just like commenting on it, and it's like we're like unironically enjoying it. Like we can understand it's objectively bad, but like we're still enjoying ourselves. Like unironically, you know.
And it's probably the beginning of me going, okay, she's 16, 17, and she's in love with this guy forever. Like
that's very 16. Though.
I know,
it's
but like that
I
always
love you forever.
I know, and it's like that just aggravates me.
Yeah. It's fiction. It's
I
not
know.
real.
I mean, it's a kind of fiction romance I like because it's got like vampires in.
Elvis said Edward could have been an Iowa senator.
I mean, have we checked to see if some of those older politicians are like,
okay.
I mean, are actually alive. I mean,
have you seen that clip of Mitch McConnell just
yes, that's what I'm saying.
Like, press conference where like, listen.
There's something, I mean, I don't want to laugh about it because he's physically, there was something, he was having an event.
Yeah, no, but old people have events. That's just what they do. They shouldn't be running the country. Call me ageist or whatever. If you're having, like, events, neurological events like that, you should not be running the country.
Well, and that's why there should be, like, strict term limits on some of these things.
I agree on everything.
Yeah.
So, okay. I also think the Supreme Court, and I thought this before it was filled with conservatives, by the way, the Supreme Court doesn't need to be a life, like not sentence, but job. Like, you can have term limits for that too.
Right.
I feel like it's weird that that's the only thing that's like, once you have that job, you can just have it forever. It's life.
Well, especially since it's so dependent on who's the president when an opening becomes.
Yeah, when they're appointing everything. And Trump, like, appointed at least 2 of them, if not 3.
I'm sorry, but the conservatives screwed us over multiple times.
Oh, they really did. Oh, yes. Absolutely.
And I tell you what, if Biden had been the one having that event...
And he might. He still might, because he's pretty
We wouldn't be here going, oh, no, he's fine. He's fine.
No. Yep.
That was ridiculous. Another thing I love about TikTok is how brutal people are. Because this one person was like, look, I work in a nursing home. And I know that look. And he went like minute by minute. And he's like, he just pooped his pants. Oh. And then they like showed the close up of the guy behind him kind of going,
oh no.
And it's like, oh no. I think you might be right.
Yeah.
Which, if you're having a stroke, that would happen probably.
You don't think he was having a stroke?
Well, I don't.
Was he?
I'm not a doctor. Something was wrong.
That doesn't mean he
clocked out.
He did clock out. That doesn't mean it was a stroke.
I mean, he could be a robot.
He could be. He could be one of those reptilian people that we hear about.
They did say that there's... Oh, okay. After commercials, we got to talk about the whole alien thing. Because they said there are aliens here.
Oh, my God.
Well, how did we not talk about this before?
Okay. Well, okay. Let's do commercials. Not commercials. News and weather first. And then we'll talk about aliens. Because I've been seeing so many TikToks, and they're so funny, and we have to talk about them. Okay. So we're going to do news first, though. So you're listening to the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Don't go anywhere. We're going to talk about aliens.
This is CBS News on the Hour, presented by Indeed.com.
I'm Jennifer Kuiper in Chicago. Former President Trump pleads not guilty to 4 felony charges arising out of the investigation led by special counsel Jack Smith into alleged attempts by Trump to prevent the peaceful transfer of power after the 2020 election. Afterwards, just as he was to board his private plane, Trump told reporters,
"This is a persecution of a political opponent. This was never supposed to happen in America. This is the persecution of the person that's leading by very, very substantial numbers in the Republican primary."
More from WTOP, Scott Gelman.
Here outside the federal courthouse in downtown D.C., dozens of people lined the sidewalks in anticipation of former President Donald Trump's arraignment. Some held Trump flags and chanted Trump for president, while others yelled lock him up. This man held a Trump 2024 flag.
I want to bring Trump back just like how we had from 2017 through 2019. The guy's an American hero. The guy's done nothing wrong.
One man here was dressed in what he called a jail outfit.
I got the handcuffs. I got my ball of chain. I'm ready. I'm ready to see him locked up once and for all.
Scott Gelman for CBS News, Washington.
2 U.S. Navy sailors are arrested on charges of giving sensitive national security material to China. Matthew Olson with the Department of Justice says in one case,
the defendant allegedly accepted bribes and gave a PRC intelligence officer photographs and videos of military exercise plans, operational orders, and electrical systems at a naval installation.
Both sailors were arrested in Southern California. 6 white former Mississippi law enforcement officers plead guilty to federal civil rights offenses against 2 black men brutalized during a warrantless home raid. CBS's Christopher Cruz.
The charges were unsealed as the former officers appeared in federal court. Kristen Clark is the Assistant Attorney General for Civil Rights.
The details of the crimes these defendants committed is a horrific
and stark example of violent police misconduct, which has no place in our society today.
Court documents say the officers called themselves the Goon Squad, quote, because of their willingness to use excessive force and not report it. Christopher Cruz, CBS News, Washington.
A U.S. appeals court says President Biden's asylum restrictions at the border can stay in place for now, putting on hold a district judge's July 25th ruling that found the regulation violated U.S. law.
I like dollars, I like diamonds, I like stunning, I like shining.
Case closed, no charges. That's what Las Vegas police say after a thorough review of a case involving Cardi B throwing a microphone at a concert attendee who apparently threw liquid at her while she was singing on stage. Police say they came to the decision after consulting with prosecutors. Stocks closed lower on Wall Street. This is CBS News.
Hire with minimal effort and max speed with Indeed. Their hiring solution platform helps you attract, interview, and hire candidates efficiently. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Ray Magliozzi here for eBay Motors. Okay, easy now. You're teaching a kid how to parallel park. Ouch! Turns out he likes to do it by feel. Don't worry, eBay Motors has bumpers, taillights, trunk lids, license plate holders, 122 million parts. Pull up just a little bit. And headlights. They've got lots of headlights. Get the right parts at the right prices. eBay Motors. Let's ride.
Bobby, did we get that shipment of mesquite?
Jim's woodworking shop worked fine until half his staff retired.
Wow, those cuts are neat. I'm really going to miss your precision.
He needs 4 skilled woodworker bees ASAP.
All right, this jigsaw needs a new blade.
Indeed can help him hire great people fast.
I need Indeed.
Indeed you do. Our hiring platform instantly connects you with quality candidates, and you can schedule and conduct virtual interviews right from the Indeed dashboard. Visit Indeed.com/credit and get $75 towards your first sponsored job. Terms and conditions apply.
From the Hertine and Stalker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stalker Jewelers, making memories, making moments.
Now, Iowa City's news first.
I'm Tommy Lang with KCJJ News. Despite an arbitration hearing scheduled for next May between the University of Iowa and the contractors it claims installed defective windows in the Stead Family Children's Hospital, the lawsuit may be dismissed January 1st if the university cannot convince a judge it should run its course. The Gazette reports Johnson County District Court notified the parties that Iowa law requires cases more than 1 year old to be tried before the start of a new calendar year. The lawsuit was filed on June 10th of 2022. In September of 2022, the two sides, the University of Iowa and the defendants, Couples International and Knutson Construction Services Midwest, agreed to arbitration on the estimated $45 million in replacement costs for the windows. However, that hearing is set for May 6th through the 24th, well past the December 31st deadline. The Gazette reports UI attorneys asked the court this week not to dismiss the case for lack of activity, noting neither side can provide a date of a final arbitration award until the evidence is concluded. The hospital, which has had disputes with other contractors during and after construction, has seen its original budget of $270.8 million soar to a possible $450 million. A Worth County man has been arrested after allegedly hitting a victim with his truck in Oxford last month and fleeing the scene. According to the criminal complaint, the incident occurred around 8 p.m. July 19th on Namora Avenue in Oxford. 38-year-old Patrick Mackey of Hanlintown reportedly drove his 2002 Toyota Tundra, swerving towards the victim, which put him in fear of physical injury. Deputies say serious personal injury did occur, and Mackey left the scene without reporting the incident. A warrant was issued for Mackey's arrest on July 26th, and he was taken into custody Wednesday afternoon. He's been charged with assault with intent to inflict serious injury, leaving the scene of an injury accident, assault with the use of a weapon, failure to report an accident, and failure to provide information and/or aid before leaving the scene of an accident. If convicted on the offenses, Mackey could be sentenced to up to 5 years in prison. Recently received federal grant money will help construct a new headquarters for Iowa City Transit. The Press-Citizen reports part of the $23.3 million will be used to purchase 4 new electric buses to add to the 4 the city currently owns. The new building will replace Iowa City Transit's outdated facility on South Riverside Drive. Darian Nagel-Gam, the city's transportation director, told the Press-Citizen the new building will be built for electric and other low-emission technology and will be powered by clean, renewable energy. The current building is less than 40 years old, but it has several issues. They include limited bus storage, uneven exterior concrete, outdated restroom facilities, and a lack of storage. The city estimates that repairs would cost about $2 million. The new facility will cost about $20 million. Hoover's Hometown Days begins on Friday in West Branch with free entertainment such as live music featuring Jake McVeigh on Friday night, as well as bouncy houses and inflatable games, a petting zoo, museum admission, and the annual Mayor's Parade. Live music on Saturday will be held in the fire department's beer tent. For more information, go to hooverdays.org. In sports, the University of Iowa women's basketball team will compete in the 2023 Clean Simple Eats Gulf Coast Showcase Thanksgiving weekend in Estero, Florida. All of the tournament games will be broadcast on Flow Hoops. Hosted by BDG Sports, the Gulf Coast Showcase will feature Iowa, Delaware, Florida Gulf Coast, Kansas State, North Carolina, Purdue Fort Wayne, Vermont, and Western Kentucky. The 8-team tournament field has 6 squads that competed in postseason play last season. The Hawkeyes begin tournament play on Black Friday, November 24th at 6:30 p.m. against Purdue Fort Wayne in Hertz Arena. Travel information, including preferred hotel rates at the official tournament resort and ticket information, can be found at the official event website, GulfCoastShowcase.com. Tickets go on sale Thursday, August 10th. We'll talk more Hawkeye sports Friday morning at 9 on the HawkFanatic.com segment, right here on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. With KCJJ News, I'm Tommy Lang.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
KCJJ Weather, brought to you by Plum Supply.
Plum Supply kitchens and baths. Your home never looks so beautiful.
I'm meteorologist Mace Michaels. Partly cloudy and a low in the upper 60s. For tomorrow, mostly sunny, high around 90. Then some storms possible tomorrow night and for the weekend with cooler temps. Highs in the low 80s for Saturday, upper 70 Sunday. Rain chances diminish early Monday, then back into sunshine. Nice. Highs upper 70s. That's your latest forecast here on the mighty 1630 KCJJ. Right now it's 78 degrees.
You're listening to Molly Suter on the mighty 1630 KCJJ.
Yes, you are. It's also Cindy.
Yes.
Yes.
The other girl.
The other girl. Before we get into aliens, I do need to give props to whatever farmer has the field right out here. This corn is looking lovely.
I was thinking when I was driving in here, I'm like, I don't remember. I mean, I remember you cannot see the building from the road.
You cannot see the building from the road. You can obviously see the towers, and I think maybe the tops of like the satellite dishes, but no, this corn is looking tall, lush, and
it's so Iowa.
And the corn itself, like, just looks like it's ready to be picked.
That's a good crop there, Molly.
It's a good crop. I'm just kudos to whoever the farmer is. And now let's talk about aliens. So,
dun, dun, dun. Nope. Non-human biologics.
Oh, yeah.
Which is kind of rude.
Non-terrestrial beings.
They're like making up new...
Yeah, what if in the future aliens like a slur?
Well, and that's what is my concern when they say they're like real specific about non-human. I'm like...
Dogs? Space dogs?
Like...
no,
like
okay,
human is what you want to be, but if you're non-human, you're like below.
If
we're starting out bad.
If you don't know what we're talking about, former Pentagon employee David Grush told Congress last week that UFOs are real and the U.S. government is in possession of non-terrestrial bodies and crafts. So an alien and its spacecraft.
And
an extraterrestrial, if you will.
And people may have been murdered to cover it.
Maybe.
There was a no comment when he was asked that question, or somebody was asked that question, and they said he could not comment. That means that happened. Otherwise, they'd say no.
That's so heavy. And, like, I hope that the non-terrestrial beings are friendly.
No, non-human biologics is what they're calling it.
Non-human biologics. All right. Anyway, I hope
they were very specific about it.
Hope they're friendly, and I hope they never come back to Earth just because, like, we're awful and we kill them.
It was non-human biological matter has been found on the crafts that they found.
Okay, so does that... But that doesn't... That's vague on purpose. That's vague on purpose.
And then they're also trying to be clever, like, instead of just saying UFOs, which everybody calls them a UFO, they're like,
unidentified flying object.
It's UAP.
What's that?
It stands for...
Unidentified...
Aerial something. No, wait, I forget. I've lost that part. Oh, unidentified aerial phenomenon.
Which is even more vague.
I think somebody spent more time thinking up different words for what we already call it.
Anyway, I think
instead of like...
I think it's okay if we call them UFOs and aliens for now, unless we get information to the contrary. But as with any other serious news, it goes over on TikTok and people just make fun of it. And so I keep seeing so many TikToks of women being like, listen, we don't know what the aliens look like. What if they're over 6 feet tall
I've seen a bunch
and
of those,
over their ex? I might date one. See what happens.
I mean, I wouldn't say no.
They gotta be cute, though. They gotta be cute.
No.
Cindy.
I mean, in theory, they'd be crashing, so they're probably drunk.
Or, like, having a malfunction of their UFO.
Maybe that, too. I'm just saying that they're probably, like, not good for me. So, yeah.
So, Cindy's
long
about
distance, I'm all into that.
Yeah, you don't know my boyfriend. He doesn't live here. He lives in space.
I don't even know space, because I don't even know directions
he lives on
world.
Mars.
Yeah, I wonder if Google Maps would be good.
No, but like when that news broke,
nobody said anything.
My sister was like, "Do you know aliens are real?" And I'm just like, "Yeah." And I'm tired. Of course,
I know, but nobody
exist.
really said anything about it. Like, it's not.
No, because nobody's surprised. They're like, so from all we know about like how Earth is in a Goldilocks zone, like it's just far enough away from the sun so we don't burn up, and it's just close enough to where like we don't freeze, and so like this planet is like perfect for life like ours and other life on this planet to thrive.
Right.
And so it just makes sense how many other galaxies are out there. There's got to be other planets in the Goldilocks zone making their own beings. And they're not going to be like just like humans, I don't think. But like I think there's absolutely more intelligent beings out there.
I don't know that anyone has ever debated that there is life out there. It's just whether or not they're going to find our life, because it is a big world. It's a big
there's
universe.
There's a lot of people who don't believe in aliens, Cindy, because it goes because it religious people,
God.
when it goes against
what do you think God is?
The creationist theory.
I know, but what do you think God is? Alien.
Oh, the Christians are gonna like that, Cindy.
I don't think the Christians like me very much anyway.
No, I don't think the Christians listen to the show.
You know what? I don't like them.
I don't think religious people listen to the show.
Well, they hate listen, probably.
Listen if you want. But yeah, aliens,
well, if we didn't make them mad about the religion that I made up, then I guess.
About the chicken tender Communion,
the
yeah.
ranch dressing.
Yes.
Dip, yeah.
The ranch dressing has the blood of Christ or whatever.
What makes me excited though about the
deity is.
alien thing, and that the government finally basically saying, yeah, we've got some stuff. We don't want to give you details, but yeah, we're pretty sure there's people have like other beings have. In Star Trek, they've got that prime directive thing, where if they visit a new planet, if the planet isn't aware that there's other people out there, they won't make contact, like direct contact, and say, hey, we're from outer space, because they don't want to ruin like societies that don't know about outer space.
Right.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
I've very badly described. But now that we're admitting that, hey, we know about other people from outer space, now they're all going to come and hang out. Because we know now. We're admitting it.
If they are peaceful, I say welcome.
Well, even if they're not, I don't really care. It'd be fun.
We're not peaceful.
I know. Like, we're screwing this planet up.
Why
really
don't
we get somebody else in here? Somebody higher up.
Actually, do you know what? That is the plot of another Stephanie Meyer book called The Host, and it's where these aliens come to Earth and they implant themselves into humans.
I think I read that.
And they like make the planet like better, and it's like this whole like the whole thing is a debate for like, is it, even if you're doing well or even if you're doing like good things, is it right to take away someone's autonomy? And it's actually it's cool. And there's a movie about it too. It's called The Host, and it was on Netflix. I don't know if it is anymore, but it stars Saoirse Ronan, and it's so good.
I feel like I've read that
again.
book.
I want to watch it again. It was huge. It was like a tome, but it was so good. And I know me saying Stephanie Meyer wrote it probably isn't a huge endorsement to most people, but it is a really cool concept, if nothing else. And like, maybe her writing has something to be desired, but it is a cool story.
Is there a 100-year-old hitting on a 16-year-old in it?
No.
Okay, then I'll...
Although, how old are the aliens?
I mean, that's different.
Is it, though? What's a vampire? Not an alien.
I don't know. I mean, like, maybe their age is, like dogs, when they're 1-year-old, they're actually 7 in human years. Maybe that's the way it is with aliens.
I think...
They could be 100 years old, but they only have the mentality of a 3-year-old.
I think in the case of The Host, it's like the aliens have multiple lifetimes on multiple planets. Like, this species of alien goes to other planets to, like, inhabit the host bodies on the planet.
How do we know that that's not happening now?
Exactly. That's
Maybe
why
that's what happened to Mitch McConnell. His host just kind of like, screw this. He's screwing things up. I'm going to go on to somebody else. And all I'm saying to anybody who's listening, any non-human biologics, I'm not doing much with this body anyway. So you might as well come in. I offer.
I welcome the aliens.
You gotta, like, it's gotta be better. It can't be worse.
True.
I'm just saying. I don't know. I was kind of excited about
but
it.
But also, like, when I was talking about, like, all the TikToks of the women being like, I'll hear him out. Like, I watched Doctor Who in, like...
Old school or new school?
Oh, new school.
Okay.
For sure. But, like, I'm already exposed to the idea of the alien being, like, hot. Because the alien looks like David Tennant. Or it looks like David Tennant 15 years ago.
Well, even when the alien looked like whoever the girl was.
Oh, Jodie Whittaker.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's pretty, too.
I'd hit that. I would not hit the old dude. I did not like the old dude. That's when I stopped watching
Peter Capaldi.
I didn't like him.
Yeah, you know what? So many people are divided on that. Like, there are so many people who are, like, Doctor Who purists who think that he was a really, really good doctor. And, like, I'm not gonna dismiss that. But I personally did not enjoy him.
Part of the problem I had with him is at that point in time, I was watching it. Like, I was into it. And so there was whispers, like there always is when they're changing doctors and you're going to get a new doctor. They were talking about, what's his face, the black dude that plays Luther.
I don't know. I don't watch Luther.
I don't know. Really hot. He was also in The Office.
Hot black dude. All right.
Anyway, they were talking about him doing it, which of course that never happened. And there was a little bit of whisper of a female. And I, of course, at the time was very feminist, and I'm like, we need a woman. We need a woman.
Are you
and then
not
you
a
see,
feminist now?
Well, not the greatest feminist, but it's been decades of men. And of course, you get online and there's dudes out there like, oh no, it can't be a woman because of this. And I'm like, no,
Shut
I
up.
remember when what's his face? He was like the second one. David Tennant.
David Tennant.
When he switched, when he came out as the doctor, I remember him checking.
Yeah,
to see if he was male or female.
Yeah.
So there's a possibility, and of course, finally we got a woman, and I still haven't seen all of those seasons.
So,
but
like, the regeneration thing, like, the cells in the doctor's body, like, completely change. Like, and it's always, like, in human form because, like, they make an offhanded comment that, like, humans look Time Lord. Just to, like, I guess, right away, any critiques about why is Doctor always like a human.
No, but I could have sworn too
Lord.
one of the times that he's like, oh, yep, human again. Like,
really?
Like, I could have. I'll have to rewatch it, but I just remember there was a couple like.
Is
There's
the
a whole
doctor like a
scene where he's
dog?
like checking, and he checked to see if he was male or female, and he checked to see if he was human or another life form.
So, I originally had a point to this. Oh, I was gonna say that the newest Doctor is a black man now, and he was in Sex Education, and it's a good show. You should watch that.
Okay, so I need to watch the Jodie Whittaker ones. I've seen the first couple
You know
of
what?
episodes.
She's an okay doctor, but she has Stephen Moffat's writing on her side, and I'm not a big fan of his writing. Like, when he took over as head writer, like, I think it really went downhill. But for this new Doctor, they're getting the old head writer back, Russell T. Davis, and he was the one who did, like, Christopher Eccleston. He was the one who did David Tennant.
That's my Doctor, by the way. He's the first one that I saw.
Well, the first one I saw
so
was
cute.
Eccleston, too, but I would consider my Doctor to be Tennant because he's my favorite. But yeah, he's coming back, and so I have hope for the series. I don't know what he's gonna do with all of the weird stuff that Stephen Moffat chose to do with his Doctors when he was head writer. I guess Chris Chibnall,
maybe that's
too,
one of the issues I was coming to, too. Like, I'm thinking back on all the Doctors that I've witnessed. They're so manic when they're trying to figure something out, and it's annoying. You know what I mean? You know what I'm talking about? Like, they're like all over the place, and part of it was the actors that were playing. But I wonder if it was the writing, too, that was... Because Eccleston wasn't that way. He wasn't super, like...
You know, that first season
He was so cool.
That first season is interesting because it was, like, the first one...
It's like the reboot.
Yeah, it was the reboot, and then, like, the last time they had, like, a Doctor Who, like, on the screen was, I think, in '94 with that movie. Right. But I guess that first season was kind of experimental, and so Eccleston was probably allowed to do whatever he wanted with the character, and he had some kind of freedom because, like, it had been so long since a Doctor had, like, graced the screens and, like, people weren't used to it yet. But then David Tennant probably set the precedent of, like, this manic, erratic Doctor.
Yeah, and he was,
I love him. He's my favorite.
I only liked him with, was it Rose? Not Rose.
Martha? Donna.
Donna's my favorite.
I think Martha.
Sidekick.
I think Martha is underrated. So many people are like,
She was the doctor, like the black doctor.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, yeah. I kind of liked her, but she was just kind of boring. I love Donna because Donna is me. Like, I was Donna.
Honestly, I do get Donna vibes from you.
She has this one scene where he's like saying, well, don't you remember, like, because he's trying to tell her that he was the doctor and, you know, he saved the world several times. He's like, don't you remember the alien invasion of such and such a weekend? She's like, oh, yeah, I was binge watching such and such that weekend. And, like, every, like, major event, she was, like, busy, like, not paying attention.
Or, like, like, she was on the phone with her friend, like, washing dishes while, like, an alien invasion was happening.
And I'm like, is she me?
Honestly, I feel like that's realistic.
Yes. But I, like, in that moment, I like, oh, my God. And then every time she would see him, she's, like, talked about how skinny he was. And I'm like, okay, that would be me.
Yeah, she's like, you are so skinny. Because he is. David Tennant is very, very skinny.
Human.
At least he was like 15 years ago. I think he still is, but yeah. No, I think Martha was underrated, and people don't like her, I think, because she was like, she really loved the Doctor, but she wasn't Rose, and people were still kind of like, Rose and the Doctor.
I know. I sobbed so hard when Rose.
I know.
Not to spoil anything, but
it's been
a while. You
It's
should have
been
watched
like 17 years.
Well, and I will say with the Eccleston, like, I had never seen Doctor Who.
Mhm.
I never watched it when I was a kid, and the guy I was dating at the time really loved it. And he's like, "Oh, you should try the reboot. I think you'd like the reboot." And of course, I watched it, and it sucked in somebody like me who never would have liked the old stuff.
No, I watched a few episodes of the old one, like the what's his name? The 7th one, Tom, whatever. And it didn't grab me just because, like, honestly, a lot of shows from before, like, the 90s don't really grab me, just in the fact that
the cheesy special effects
and the way they talk is just different. Yeah. Like anything pre-Friends, I think I don't really identify with. I can't really relate to. Anyway, but yeah, I really liked the reboot version from 2005.
I'll have to figure out.
It's making me want to watch it now. Like I want to rewatch it.
So part of me is like, I gotta watch the old dude because I can't just I just can't like skip a whole 2 or 3 seasons. But do I really need to know what happened during that time?
Peter Capaldi's first season, I think, is the best by far. I think he stuck around for like 3. The first one is all right, but I can't recommend the remaining ones. And honestly, I think you can skip Jodie Whittaker. As much as that pains me to say, because I was so excited for like a female Doctor, and she was fine, but the writing is just not there.
All right, I'll blame it on the writing.
The writing is just not it. Which is why I'm so excited for this new one.
I know, but I didn't even realize that there was a new Doctor. I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, have you seen Barbie yet?
No.
Oh, well.
But I wanna.
He's in Barbie. And he's one of the Kens, and he's just kind of in the background, but he is in the Barbie movie.
Okay. Is he
Barbie
British?
Yes, he is a British actor, but he has an American accent for Barbie.
Oh no, but in Doctor Who, is he?
Oh, they have to be British.
No, they don't have to, because David Tennant is Scottish.
Okay, but he's from the United Kingdom, Cindy. That's what I meant.
It all sounds the same to me.
I don't think they'll ever get an American just because it's such a British thing.
They had a hard enough time getting a woman, I think, because the fan base is so.
I know. Yeah. I just really had hoped that when it was a woman, she would have better writing on her side, but she didn't. I liked her companions. She kept the same like 3 companions throughout, and I liked that.
Like the stepdad and
the stepdad.
I liked that.
Yes, I liked that, the fact that she held on to like this group of companions, because that's actually similar to like the really old Doctor Who. Like he had like
a group of people.
He had a group of people, and then with the new reboot, like it was just Rose, it was just Martha, it was just Donna. It was
I think they were trying to do the whole romance thing with each one of them to see what stuck, but
but the chemistry between David Tennant and Billie Piper was just so like good that they couldn't replicate it.
And I thought Eccleston and Billie Piper
were good too.
Hot.
Even though I feel like the age difference was a little.
Oh well,
Billie Piper was
10 or 15 years ago when I watched it, but
Billie Piper was like 23, and Christopher Eccleston's.
Have
like
you seen the
45.
show that she's in where she plays the actress who's like nudes get leaked?
No,
and like her whole world just falls apart. I haven't seen the whole thing, and I can't remember the name of it.
Is it Confessions of a Call Girl?
No,
because that was the one that she did like right after.
I think it was like something like Everybody Hates something.
What's it on?
Because it's on one of the streaming.
I don't have access to Netflix anymore. By the way,
what's her name? Billie Piper.
Billie Piper.
I saw like a couple episodes of it. It was cute. She was good in it, but so just give me not. I hate Susie.
All right,
but it kind of follows her as like an actress that is waning in popularity and has a major crisis. And anyway, if you like looking at her, it's a good show.
Yeah.
Although
like
I did not finish it, but I think there's a couple seasons to it. Yeah.
Oh yeah, 2 seasons, 2020. But when? How can you?
She was married to Chris Evans.
It's not available to stream.
So where did I see it? I saw it somewhere.
Wait, you said she was married to when?
I'm just scrolling through the Google page, and it said that they were
What? Okay,
Chris
Billy
Evans. Isn't he
Piper.
one of the?
He's Captain America.
Yeah.
What?
Unless it's another Chris Evans.
Well, now she's with Johnny Lloyd from 2016 on, whoever that is.
She was married to him when she was 18. No, this has to be a different Chris Evans. Because Chris Evans isn't.
He's American, yeah. Wait.
It was a drunken marriage. They were married for just a few minutes.
Chris Evans. Yeah, Chris Evans, the presenter, not the American.
I'm like, wait.
Not the American.
Isn't he one of the Chris's that's like on Marvel or something? Or.
Oh my gosh, but they were married in 2001. How okay, so I think she was 23 when she started the series in 2005. So she would have been
18 is what this article says. You don't even have to do the math. 18, he was 35.
What? No. Oh, that's why
she says that she was drunk though when they got married.
That's why she had so much chemistry with that old guy, with Christopher Eccleston as the old guy. Oh gosh. Or the older guy, I guess. Okay, that makes sense now. But I don't like that, though. That she was married to this guy for 6 years.
I'd rather her be married to Chris Evans.
The American actor.
Captain
yes,
America.
I agree. I'm like...
I think they'd be cute together.
When you said Chris Evans, I was so shook. I'm like...
I know, that's I'm like, what? And I'm like looking for a picture. I'm like, what?
It doesn't compute. In my brain.
I don't think they're in the same world.
No, they're not. They don't exist in the same world. Do you know what? I said... Okay, do you know who Lily Allen is?
Yes, but I can't tell you what show or
she's a pop star from the UK, and you know who David Harbour is?
The guy.
He's in Stranger Things.
Oh, they're married.
They're married, and I'm just like, how?
Yeah.
What?
Well, and what bothered me is like I know this guy as the Stranger Things,
Hopper.
Like, and my favorite version of him is when he's all out of shape and drunk and like so hot. I'm in love with him.
I love that that's your type. It's so funny.
Oh my God, I can't even. Okay. So I'm just imagining. Anyway, I saw the interview where they were showing their house. And like, first of all, like, I don't even know how that happens. She's like, like they're like
Architectural Digest
they're
or something,
opposite.
right?
Like, how do they even meet?
I think they met on that famous dating app, Raya. Like the dating app for famous people.
I saw that.
And so, like, if he's in London doing, like, press for Stranger Things or whatever, like, you swipe, and then, Lily Allen, the pop singer, I think she's cute, swipe, and then they swipe together, and then they start talking, and they, get married. But for us, it's just like, how do you know each other?
Well,
how do you even, like, operate in the same world as each other?
The things that I've seen him, like, I understand it's acting. He's not the character that he plays.
No, exactly.
But he's played quite a few characters that are rough, hairy. Like, he was in Black Widow.
He's still pretty hairy.
I know, but, like, in this interview that I saw where they were, like, talking about their house, he was like, oh, yes, we got this table from a tree that was in... but, anyway, they had stories about everything. Like, we saw this walking through, that
means he's a good actor, Cindy. That means he's a really good actor.
And he was clean cut, and he looked all, like, fit, and, like, in a little suit, and, like, he was just, like, Mr., like, bleh, perfect.
And so Cindy's like, boring.
I'm like, what is this?
Bring
Who
me
is
back
this
the
guy?
dirty alcoholic.
Go back to what Hopper,
Hopper,
or even the guy that was on. You never watched Black Widow, but he played another pretty obnoxious, big, fat, hairy guy.
Speaking of, I need to rewatch season 4 of Stranger Things. I think I'm gonna do that in the fall though, when it's like spooky.
I don't even remember what happened in the last.
It was so good.
I mean, was that the Russia one where they were getting in the Russia prison? Yeah,
but it was so good. Oh, but I'm gonna have to watch it at my parents' house though, because Netflix clocked that Amy and I were sharing.
Yeah, but can't you just send your mom and dad a text and they'll give you the number?
That would require them to be on their phone when we call, or like be on their laptop when we call, and them reading a code out to us. And like for some reason that's like really difficult.
I know, but you can get it off your phone, can't you?
No, it's
I
like
got one to my phone.
They send you a code to like the email or the text, and then you have to like immediately put it in. And I don't trust that to go smoothly. So either I cave and buy Netflix.
You can get it for like $7 a month if you don't mind ads, and the ads are not that big of a deal.
You know, ever since I started watching the Roku channel, I've gotten used to the ads.
I mean,
so I'm not.
Okay, I'm gonna have to cancel back to what I was before because there was one show, I don't remember what it was, some movie I wanted to see which was bad. I never should have. It was a bad movie.
Which one?
Oh, This Is the End.
Oh.
After that whole Jonah Hill thing happened.
Oh, right.
So everyone kept saying that the character that he played, like himself in that movie, was like, he was really that way. And so I'm like, I gotta watch this because it's gonna be fun. It's a dude movie. It's a dude funny movie, which I don't really like.
Which means it's not funny.
Yeah. I mean, it was an interesting concept.
No, I know what you mean when you say dude funny movie. I'm just like, okay, I get it.
It was like Dumb and Dumber kind of humor.
I also feel like there are a lot of movies that like men love, and like I've spent my entire life like men being like, you have to watch this, and then when I finally watch it, it's like so boring, and I'm just like,
and
why?
That's the thing, like they're not bad movies. It's just that they've been hyped up by dudes for so
long
and
that you're like it's dudes like being dudes.
This isn't like exactly that, but The Princess Bride is another one that a lot of dudes love.
Wait, I love that one. I like that one.
I don't get it.
Well, you don't like romance.
She's like really mean to him. She like pushed him down a hill.
Okay, but lots of men love that.
Is that my problem? I'm not physically abusive to men?
You're not mean enough. It's supposed to be playful.
I did not understand that at all.
But he loves her.
I don't know. I mean, it was a cute movie, and I watched it, and I was entertained a million years ago. But I tried rewatching it, and I'm like...
It's like adventurous. It's like exciting. Even if you don't like the romance part of it.
I don't know.
There's something for everybody. And it's so quotable. There's so many like famous quotes.
I mean, I do say that. You keep using that word, and you don't. I don't think you know what it means.
I don't think you know what it means. Yep.
But other than that, I mean, that's just another movie I know. I know a lot of guys who are like, "Oh, that's my favorite movie."
Mm-hmm. Actually, I know a lot of women who say that's their favorite movie too. So I don't think that's.
But
the
Big
same
Lebowski
thing.
Is like like way up there that men love.
I had to watch that for like a film theory class when I was a freshman in college, and I liked about half of the movies we had to see. Like, these are like critically acclaimed films, mostly critically acclaimed by men. So yeah, we watched like Fight Club, we watched Crime and Punishment, we watched The Lives of Others, we watched The Big Lebowski, and no, sorry, Crimes and Misdemeanors. Anyway, and they were all boring. They were all boring.
Not one Legally Blonde? I mean,
No.
what?
No, it was all like
I'm trying to think of the one movie that I've seen like multiple times that I would watch again.
I would love if like we watched Legally Blonde and like it was celebrated as like a good film, because it is.
It is. I mean, women empowerment. Actually, it's the perfect female empowerment movie, I think.
I think you can just call it the perfect movie, because it is.
Yeah. Have you seen you saw the musical?
Yes.
Okay, I was going to say.
I was obsessed with the soundtrack in high school. And a friend of mine actually burned me a CD of Laura Bell Bundy's like actual music. Because she was Elle in the original run of the Broadway version of Legally Blonde. And like she was like a country musician, and I still love country music, but at the time I was really into it. And so I burned that to my MP3 player at the time, and I would just be like listening to it all the time in high school. So shout out to Riley for making me that mixtape. I guess it's not a mixtape if it's
mixed
just
MP3.
one. Yeah.
I remember MTV, I think, had a reality show
Yeah.
that was about like getting the next,
searching for the next Elvis. I watched clips. I don't think I ever seen.
I watched the whole thing, but
was it good?
Years before we got to see. I took the kids at the Corville place.
Oh yeah, I went to that too.
The first run of it that it came out, and then it was just out last year. You saw that one, did you?
Yeah.
They did an excellent job.
And I loved the Elle. I liked her better than Laura Bell Bundy.
I agree. I think we've had this discussion.
We have. It's she at the Coralville Center Performing Arts. I don't remember this actress's name, but she was just so good. She was like bubbly, but not over the top, like Laura Bell had to be, because she was. I mean, I get it. It's like Broadway. You have to be like super energetic and stuff. But I actually liked that. This one was more like. She was bubbly, but she was subdued, and she was like smart.
She wasn't as squeaky.
Yeah, and so it was just like she was more nuanced as a character, and I really liked that. I thought she was more realistic. I liked that. So, if anyone listening knows who that actress is,
she's got to be local.
Give her a pat on the back. Yeah, she's got to be local.
Because it was City Circle.
I think so.
Something.
Excuse me. Nobody's been chatting in the chat room. The last comment was from Elvis. I saw a little green man once, but that was just Mace dressed up for St. Patrick's Day.
Burn!
Okay, well, did you guys not like our philosophical discussion about the Doctor or
the
Legally
alien.
Blonde? Apparently not.
And how the Prime Directive has been totally broken open, so now all the aliens can come down. I'm assuming everybody is like there's a Jean-Luc Picard on every planet that'll come down and visit.
That reference is lost on me. And so I don't watch
That
Star
was the
Trek.
best of Star Trek.
Oh, I don't like musicals and have never seen Doctor Who, Elvis says.
You don't like musicals?
Tom Baker, that's the person I was talking about. Like the old Doctor that I've seen, I didn't love. I didn't like. So
I just remember when I keep calling him the old guy. You know what I'm talking about.
Peter Capaldi. Please put some respect on his name.
So-
He is a celebrated British actor.
I'm sure he's good at what he does. But when he switched, my youngest was very young at the time, and she was kind of watching it with me. She'd kind of.
Oh gosh, that's right. That must have been 10 years
like
ago
a baby.
now.
She was a baby at the time. And when he turned and he came out of whatever, I forget how they turned. Do they just
kind of
come out of a slime or something?
It's not a slime. It's just like
they do a spin.
They're
and
just
then-
like, boom. Yeah, they just like.
I remember going. I was like, oh, and then because I had no idea who it was going to be.
I think for him it was a sneeze, and then so Matt Smith sneezed, and then out of frame, and then when he came back into frame, it was Peter Capaldi. I think that's what how it happened.
It's like a really bad TikTok transition.
Well,
my daughter's like, oh, he's old. That was like her first.
You know what? I think if we're all honest with ourselves, that was a lot of our first reaction.
But I'm also like, oh, another old white dude.
This is a pretty ageist episode of Molly Suter and the Other Girl, and I apologize.
I'm old. I can say it.
You're not as old as Peter Capaldi was when he.
And you can say some of my best friends are old.
I'm friends with my parents. They're pretty old.
I'm as old as your parents, practically.
No, you're not. You're younger.
I'm going to be 50. I just did the math. 52 next week.
My mom is 13 years older than you.
Oh, never mind. That's old. I'm kidding.
Damn, Cindy.
Well, in our defense,
listening.
we were talking about the age of the U.S. government.
Yes.
People.
We were.
And we're not wrong.
The members of Congress that maybe should not hold their positions anymore.
Forever and ever and ever.
Due to not having the mental capacity.
Or the physical capacity, for that matter.
Right.
They should get physical tests.
Although, the mental is more important because, like, you could be in a wheelchair and still do Congress duties. Don't we have a congressman? Like a Republican congressman in a wheelchair?
Yeah.
Is his name Madison?
Oh, he's a jerk.
Oh, he is a jerk, but I'm saying, like, you can be disabled. You can be physically disabled and still be in Congress.
Yeah. Okay. They don't need physical tests, but they should have mental tests. And they should know how to use TikTok.
Those are so funny. Can I connect to the Wi-Fi? Yes or no?
I know, like they don't even know how Wi-Fi works. Like some of those, and that is the one thing I love about.
Can China hack my Wi-Fi through TikTok? Yes or no?
That's the one thing I love about TikTok too. I would never sit down and like search out. I mean, I know you can probably see videos of these congressional, whatever they're, what are they doing exactly? They're just asking questions, right? About, like during that one, they were asking like a professional questions about stuff. You know, those congressional hearings.
Yes.
For whatever reason. I don't even know why they have them. But you can find those videos, I'm sure, anywhere. But because of TikTok, they just kind of come up on my feed and I get to enjoy. Like, I didn't realize that this was going on all of these decades, all of these hundreds of years of the government. Like, that's what they do with our tax money. Ask stupid questions.
That they don't understand.
Or then seeing, like, some of the younger, more intelligent Congress women, usually, blast them.
Yep. Elvis says he's not in Congress anymore. Who? Mitch McConnell?
No. Did he retire?
No. Who are we just talking about?
Cawthorn. Cawthorn,
oh,
right?
Madison Cawthorn. Oh, is he not in Congress anymore? Oh, he's just some dude now.
Really? I wonder if he got kicked out.
Or maybe that's not who Elvis is talking about. Handicap guy. Yeah. Yeah, Madison Cawthorn. When did he exit Congress? I don't pay attention that hard.
Madison Cawthorn, former United States representative. Please tell me he got caught with his 12-year-old. That's what I think.
Guy
you want to guess? We'll do bingo. What do you think he got kicked out for?
He lost re-election.
Oh, well, that's not as fun. I was hoping he got kicked out for something.
No, he just didn't win his election. I
guess. I don't remember why I don't like him. Isn't he one of the guys that like gave the big, fist pump or whatever to the insurrectionists as he was walking inside, or not walking, rolling inside,
wheeling inside?
Or was that somebody else?
I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh, his tenure was marked by various controversies, including allegations of insider trading, improper payments, bringing a handgun to an airport.
Dude.
Oh, this is fun. Appearing in a leaked nude video.
Why do you
Okay, you shouldn't get in trouble for that.
No.
I kind of feel bad.
Why do you need a gun at the airport?
Why do you need a gun in general?
Yeah, but why at the airport? No, we were in Florida and I was going through security And the security people are like, if you have a firearm in your carry-on, you have to go check it. And they were repeating that. They were saying that. And I'm just like, of course in Florida, they're reminding people that you need to check your firearm. Why do you need to? Unless you're like a policeman, an FBI agent, or like going to somewhere to like hunt. Why do you need? Why?
And I think everyone should be able to have a gun if they want it, but I just don't think you need to be carrying it around with you.
No. You don't. Period. And you're not going to change my mind about that.
Good.
Good. He got his rolling papers. Oh, was he doing drugs?
No, rolling. Like, he's making a wheelchair joke.
Oh.
Are we supposed to laugh at that or not? I'm not sure.
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't think we should.
I'm not laughing at that. I'm laughing at
me not getting it. Yeah, that's fine.
I mean, I could do a quick.
He's a bad dude, but I don't think we should be making fun of someone for being in a wheelchair. We can make fun of him for other things. I don't think we should make fun of him for being in a wheelchair.
That's what who was the New Jersey?
Oh, the eye patch guy?
No, the guy who's a little bit bigger.
Chris Christie.
Yeah, when he was all over for various things, I really hated that I had to come out like on social media and say, look, quit calling him fat. Like, we know what he looks like. He's got a million other things that we could be like making fun of him for. Quit making fun of his weight.
I feel like for Trump, we can make fun of like his wig and like his bad spray tan because those are things he can control. But like, yeah, so often like you can't really control your weight. I mean, you can for a little bit, but like if you're just a naturally heavy person, like you can't change that about yourself. That's just like your basic.
Like his personality is pretty horrible. We can make fun of that. Although I will say with Trump specifically with his weight, when he comes out and tries to say he's 220 pounds or whatever it was that he tried to say that he was, when he clearly isn't.
I don't believe that.
Like,
no.
that we can make commentary on, I think.
I don't think. Yeah, I feel like. I mean, when was the last time he weighed himself?
Well, I just remember this is like when he was in office. He came out of like tried to say what his weight was after his supposed physical, and everyone's like, really, like. And of course, there was lots of people comparing like actual known weights of people that had same physical type, and it was definitely.
I mean, but people's weight does like manifest differently.
He was lying. He was 100% lying.
Well, yeah, I know that. I'm just saying, like, you could be 220 pounds and it would look completely different on someone. Like, just how you carry it on yourself.
He's got a lot of other things that we can.
Oh yeah, we don't need to make fun of like something maybe he can't control, but we can make fun of his appearance in other ways.
Yeah.
Like the orange face and the bad toupee.
Allegedly.
That's not real hair.
It can't be.
It can't be real hair.
I guess there were pictures of something kind of flapping at one time, wasn't there?
Yeah.
But what I've never understood, even before he was in the political, I remember watching the show. I used to watch The Apprentice all the time. He's rich. Like, he's rich, supposedly. And he doesn't have a single person on his staff that can say, maybe we should do it this way.
They're afraid of him. They don't want to cross him. They want to be like,
he could
hey,
look a million times
actually,
better.
your wig looks bad, dude. Let's get you another one. They can't say that. Otherwise, they're fired.
All I'm saying is if I had that kind of money, I wouldn't look like this.
Oh, yeah, that's
much better.
That's FU money.
Yeah.
That's forget you money.
I mean, I'd go away on a vacation for a year and come back.
Or never come back.
Well, I mean, everything has risks. I'm just saying. Alien! I'm here. I'm kidding.
What if they're rich aliens?
I mean,
what if they're rich?
Hear me out. We're going out on the airwaves.
We are.
And these kind of resonate. So, like, in a million years...
What if they're picking up our signal?
They could hear us. Like, sound waves go forever, right?
That's true.
They could hear us. How long does it take
gosh.
sound to get to?
I'm not a scientist. I don't know.
Like, not that far. I mean, light
Here,
goes faster than sound, right?
Okay, well, let's look up what is the speed of sound.
And how much does a AM antenna or whatever that thing
in
is
miles
called?
per hour. Okay, the speed of sound in dry air is 767 miles per hour.
I mean,
I don't have any context for that though.
I don't know. This requires math.
I'm not a math
could it get
person.
to the edge?
But
of...
also, but that's dry air. Like, what if it's like really humid, like it is here, and like there's more for the sound to like bounce off of and like
it just
slow
needs
it down.
to get through our atmosphere and out into the
space,
like, which I'm sure goes faster because there's nothing in the way.
Right.
Like, they're not going to get. It's going to be dry out there. I'm pretty sure.
What if it's wet? What if space is
I know
wet?
it's cold because every single space movie that I've seen where people get shot out into the space, they freeze. They like freeze instantly.
I think it's more of an oxygen thing. Also, I don't
but they
think
freeze.
I don't think if Hollywood movies are exactly the correct.
Are you telling me that I've been terrified of being pushed out of a spaceship to get frozen and float forever? And that may not happen?
Cindy, I think if that scenario were to happen, you would get the oxygen
well, you die instantly.
pulled out of you.
You die pretty much instantly.
Yeah, and you wouldn't have time to really process what the temperature outside is.
But then you just float out there forever.
Yeah, unless the aliens pick you up.
And I'm also just saying, and I've had this question since I was a kid. The science isn't the same everywhere. I don't think.
What do you mean?
I mean, like, we have certain, gravity and chemicals that all work here on this earth. Who's to say that this exact same scenario is happening elsewhere in the universe?
I don't know.
Do you know what I'm saying? So, like, when all of the probes go to Mars, they always check for, like, certain chemical reactions.
Oh,
to
right,
see
that's true.
Our kind of life form.
Yeah,
could go
what
there.
if...
But what if there's another kind of life form that doesn't
function
the same way?
That doesn't operate within the same rules of our world. You're right. They probably don't.
So once
they probably don't operate.
So once the radio waves hit a certain area, it could just boom. It's like we'll be on like a Tinder of theirs, and they'll just come here.
Alien Tinder, yes. I would love
They'll
that.
be like, oh, the voices of those non-alien life forms or whatever we're called.
No, we're the aliens.
I know. So we're like non-alien, but I don't know what they are.
No, to us, no, to them,
we call them
are the
non-human.
aliens.
Which,
yeah. Oh yeah. So they'd be like, no, I think we'd be whatever the word that they have, the equivalent of alien.
We would be the exotic voices that they hear.
Oh,
exotic. First contact would be
us.
Molly Suter and the other girl. There's some fan fiction right there that we need to write. That's a movie. That's a movie right there.
You know what? No, that's
like a series.
That's a romance novel.
You and I, we get each our own alien.
Our own alien, dude. And your alien can be a scruffy alcoholic, or whatever the whatever the equivalent of alcohol is on whatever planet.
I'll say, do you have a license to drive that? And he'll say, nope. Dude, move into my house. You don't need a job.
You want a deadbeat alien?
I mean, he'd be an alien. All right, here's the thing. I'm not ready to date, am I? If that's my...
Really, you don't need a job.
You don't need a license.
Actually, Cindy, there's probably plenty of men on these dating sites that don't have jobs that are just waiting for someone like you to pick them up.
I know. They don't have jobs. They don't have driver's licenses. They don't see their kids.
They have an alcohol problem.
Yeah.
And you're like,
or
all
pot
right.
problem. Yeah.
Right.
Which is why I'd rather take somebody that lives
in space.
In space somewhere.
All right. Well, we have about a minute left, so thank you very much for listening to our show today. What does this say? Elvis said something. The aliens are just now hearing something. Last March of the week. What does that say?
So, like last March, what we did.
Oh, right.
So we have to go back and look and see how interesting that was, and we'll have to make it more interesting for next.
It was probably so riveting.
Yeah, and we're going to miss them, though, because the aliens are going to be like, oh, they're on every Thursday.
This has been a good...
And then they got to wait 3 weeks.
Yeah. I'm so sorry, aliens, for not having a consistent schedule for you. All right. Well, thanks for listening. And if I'm not working early on next Thursday, I don't think football's supposed to start until later.
Oh, like I said, I have most of next week off. So.
All right. Awesome. All right. So maybe we'll see you next week. Yeah, maybe. I don't know. Maybe. All right. Well, thanks for listening. Goodbye.
From the Hertine and Stocker Studios in the heart of the Hawkeye Nation, this is the mighty 1630 KCJJ, Iowa City.
Hertine and Stocker Jewelers, making memories, making